And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Turn on the tube, what do I see? A whole lot of people crying, don't blame me. They point the crooked little fingers at everybody else. Spend all the time feeling sorry for themselves. Victim of this, victim of that. Your mama's too thin and your daddy too fat. Get over it.
Yeah, get over it here and declare your independence. And me, Ernest Hancock. What I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and go right to this. I just want to make sure that you know what's going on. You know, there's so much that's happening here, and I want to make sure that a lot of people don't really understand how bad it's going to get. I'm really trying to prep everyone for it, and we're going to start take care of our own family and so on. And we're doing what we can. We're going to be highlighting we're going to walk you through it. We're going to let you know what we're doing and a lot of the activists here. And we'll be playing this later this week after we edit the video and everything. We may very well even have it done by the end of the show, and we'll start playing it tomorrow, and we'll put it up. And about how to do the silver thing. But there's a lot of reasons why. And one of the interviews, the portion of the interview we had with Jerry Williams that has American Precious Metals, he talked about what they're doing in legislation, and he doesn't think it's going to hold up. And I'll tell you what it is. As part of the health care Obamacare bill, what they did is they added one of the mechanisms for funding it is if you trade in silver or gold, anything that is over $600, cumulative over a year. So they're supposed to keep track of every little $100, $200 transaction. After it hits $600 in 1 year, or which is one coin, one gold coin ounce, you're going to trigger it. What they're going to do is you have to fill out a 1099. Well, wow, starting January 12. Now, there's 1 year from now. If they don't repeal this thing, when you go and you say, I know I'm going to be buying me some gold and silver. You go and turn it in, IRS wants their cut. Well, Jerry Williams explained that even Barney Frank doesn't like it. The IRS doesn't know how they're going to track all this stuff. But so it's so bad that they're going to change it. Yeah, how much will they change it? Well, we're going to find out how much they change it. But the idea is that those that do know that we're going into hyperinflation of some type, then we got to get our cut from them, too. You can't be making all that money. In the past, they've even confiscated gold. They've made it illegal to hold bullion. I mean, there's just craziness. You'd think that, they'd never do that. They already have in the past. Well, there's been someone that's kind of, definitely been against that. Now, for a few minutes, we're just going to play a piece from Straight Talk from Dr. Paul. I'm going to go ahead and put this up, and it'll give you kind of an idea what they're looking at, some of the issues that they're going to be contending with immediately as the new Congress comes in. Let's go ahead and play that real quick.
So this is Ron Paul with your weekly update for December 27th. Perhaps the biggest media story of 2010 was the influence of Tea Party voters on the congressional landscape. The new Congress comes to Capitol Hill with a mandate to end profligate spending and restore fiscal sanity in Washington, we are told. But when the House and Senate convene in January, the newly elected members will face tremendous pressure to maintain spending levels for entitlement programs. Even the most modest proposals to trim Social Security or Medicare spending will be met with howls of indignation and threats of voter revolt. Legislators who propose any kind of means testing or increased retirement ages can expect angry visits from senior citizen lobbyists ready to fund a candidate back home who supports the status quo. But millions of Americans now realize that the status quo is an illusion that will not last even another 10 or 20 years. The federal government cannot continue to spend $1 trillion more than it collects in revenue each year because we are running out of creditors. Fiscal reality is setting in, and the consequences may be grim even if Congress finds the courage to take decisive action now. Courage begins with a commitment to see things as they are rather than how we wish they were. When it comes to Social Security, we must understand that the system does not represent an old age pension, an insurance program, or even a forced savings program. It simply represents an enormous transfer payment with younger workers paying taxes to benefit the other beneficiaries. There is no Social Security trust fund, and you don't have an account. Whether you win or lose the Social Security lottery is a function of when you happen to be born and how long you live to collect benefits. Of course, young people today have every reason to believe they will never collect those benefits. Notice that neither political party proposes letting people opt out of Social Security, which exposes the lie that your contributions are set aside and saved. After all, if your contributions really are put aside for your retirement, the money is there earning interest, right? If your money is in your account, what difference would it make if your neighbor chooses not to participate in the program? The truth, of course, is that your contributions are not put aside. Social Security is a simple tax. Like all taxes, the money collected is spent immediately as general revenue to fund the federal government. But no administration will admit the Social Security is nothing more than an accounting ledger with no money. You will collect benefits only if future tax revenues remain high. The money you paid into the system is long gone. My hope is that at least some members of the new Congress will cut through the distortions to see Social Security as it really is. The best way to fix the impending Social Security crisis is also the simplest. Allow younger individuals to opt out of the program and use their tax savings to invest privately as they see fit. This is the true private solution. Your money has never been safe in the government's hands, and it never will be. Thank you for calling this update at 888-322-1414. A new update.
Yeah, every Monday, that was just today. Dr. Paul explaining to us, this Social Security thing is going to have to come out in the open. And I think a lot of the younger people know this. And the older people, and that was one of the conversations I had with my in-laws. And they're great people. I really love them. They're good people that played by the system. We had this discussion. I've been married to my wife 26 years. And I'll tell you, all of a sudden, keep in mind, they have 3 children. They have 2 sons. One is an economist at Moody's, a bond rater for the media category, like he has like the New York Times and so on. They rate their bonds. So we have good conversations. And, I love my brother-in-laws and their families. They're very good people. They went down the road because they were raised that way. The system is good. America, good. They went and got their education at Penn State, and they went to New York University. I think he went to school in Washington, D.C. also, worked for NASDAQ. Then he went and worked for Moody's. His wife worked for The Republic, which was a very liberal publication in Washington, D.C. Then she was an editor for Newsweek. She was at Newsweek when the World Trade Center was hit. And at Moody's there, John went out front and looked up and saw the second plane hit. He's like, you know what? I'm running downtown. I'm going to get my wife. We're going home. And their other son, Department of Defense, refurbing nuclear subs. So you can see I get a big, wide perspective from them, but they're coming around as they see what's happening. We'll talk about it more when we come back.